Hi everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's joined the session. I know there are people from all over the world today. It was great to see so much enthusiasm for this session, and I think it's something that's the need of the hour. Everyone's been asking, what is the sales process going to be like? What are the changes that we're going to be seeing? All sorts of things, and we are here to answer those questions. Now, before I get into that, something that I often forget to do. I am Shivani Roy, and I run the webinar program at LeadSquared. So I've been a part of LeadSquared for a long time. And if you're new to our webinars, do tune in every week. We have a variety of sessions. I'll share the webinar schedule with you. Feel free to join in anytime for any session. Now, like I said before, we are discussing sales automation in this session, how to accelerate revenue with sales automation. We have two speakers today who are like poles apart. One's a seasoned sales professional and one's a budding salespreneur. More about them in a bit. Some of the things that we will cover today are, of course, what is the current state of things, what are the changes we are seeing in the market. Is digital replacing the human to human interaction? Now, I know that this conversation has been going on for a couple of years now, but to be honest, with the times now, it's really something that people need to deal with. Of course, what are the approach that some of the salespeople are taking these days? Are they armed with the right tools? And of course, how to adapt to an online automated sales process. Now, to kickstart the session, I'd like to introduce our speakers. Just a quick introduction. We have Neville from Web Synergies, and we have Abhishek from LeadSquared. Without much ado, I will introduce Abhishek. Abhishek, please do take it forward. Introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about your experience, and of course, introduce Neville as well. Abhishek, over to you.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot, Shibani, for the quick introduction. Hello, everyone, and I hope that you are doing very good. And a very good morning to everybody who is on the western side to me. I'm in India, so good afternoon to everybody in India. And everybody who is on the eastern side to me, kind of a good evening to all of you. Hope you are doing very, very good and having a good time with your family in this lockdown. Today, we are again here to tell you what all sales strategies you can adapt, not only focusing on COVID, but in general, everything about sales, how you can cope up, how you have coped up so far, and how you can actually adapt and embrace the technology now, at least because it's the right time. This is a time to use such platforms, which we are going to discuss today, what strategies to make sure that you not only survive, but you can also grow your business in this current situation and post this as well. So I'm Abhishek, everyone. I'm working with LeadSquared right now. As Shibani mentioned to you, I have over 7+ years of experience. I know, which is not very great. That's why we have Navil today, who has more than 25+ years of experience in this industry. But yes, I come with a lot of experience into the digital transformation. I've worked with over 300+ customers in last 7 years of my career and have been a very instrumental player in their entire digital transformation journey. I have worked with them to consult them on their sales strategies, what tools they should use, what kind of lead generation campaigns they can do, what kind of conversion they should target for, everything about sales and marketing automation, right? So I will catch you after Nabil introduce himself and tells you about all his experience, ladies and gentlemen. So over to you, Nabil, and I'm sure that the today audience is going to get a lot of value out from the Nabil's experience and obviously the kind of enthusiasm and the kind of technology I'm going to show you today, right? So over to you, Nabil.
Hey, thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, Shivani, for this opportunity. I should thank LeadSquare and Web Synergies for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and with my fellow team members. Correct. So first of all, good evening. Because I am based off Singapore, it's almost evening for us. It's a weekend, so people are waiting to see how we can take some good tips and go after them. Good afternoon for India. Probably they are coping up little bit post lunch. It's little heavy for them, or people who have skipped lunch and looking at us what we going to present. And good morning to the rest of the world. So I am Navil. Just I don't know how many know about me. I've been in the industry from 1995. I my experience comes with both engineering and the IT services sector. So majorly my career started with engineering. When I say engineering, it is more towards mechanical side, where I used to drive projects. I used to bring customers on board and see how I can deliver the projects. It's a long-term turnkey project which I used to do earlier. When it comes to my experience with IT, I started somewhere 20, 2000, and for last 20 years, 2 decades, I have seen two recessions which is gone over a period, and this we are in COVID situation. I think we'll come out from this. I was just looking at share market. I was looking at market responding back. It's looking very positive. People are investing. People have not lost their hearts in terms of these going trends. Yes, we should look positive and move forward. It's an amazing journey for me. I just want to share that at every step I got into, or every milestone I have achieved, or every meeting I go, it's a kind of learning for me. It gives a lot of information, and I keep telling to a lot of my team members, friends, and even at my family, sales is an art. When I say art, art cannot be the same, correct? It takes the shape, it takes different shapes and based on emotions, based on situation, based on the various dynamics. So I'm sure we all agree that sales is really need to look at those dimensions to see how we can moderate ourselves in terms of markets, in terms of whom we are meeting, what we are doing, and how exactly that can change our lives, correct? So coming back to my presentation,
Right.
it's
So I think Nabil, so to everybody who has joined today, so today it's going to be more of a Q&A kind of a discussion, and we will be very happy to get your questions also while we are discussing, and that's a small change we have in today's pattern. So Nabil, I think you definitely get comes with a lot of experience on the table, and people can actually learn a lot of sales techniques from you. But I would also like to tell today's audience that everybody, Nabil has already survived couple of recessions, and I think he's the guy. I would love to ask him like how was his team when there was a last recession, how they managed the sales, how did they perform after the situation and something like that, right? So Nabil, why don't you tell people about your experience and start with your current slide? Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to really first talk about it. It's a huge difference between how revenue and sales are relation with, right? It's most of the time we feel that both sales and revenue goes hand in hand. Couple of years back when I moved to an services industry, I really, it was a big eye opener for me. Sales and revenue never goes hand in hand. Even though I used to be a top sales guy in earlier days, then if I don't meet my revenue numbers, I've been looked at, hey, you have not met the company's goal, you have not pulled up the profitability of the company. It's more like the numbers looks very good, but you're not able to do. So it is very important for us to really look at how sales and revenue goes hand in hand, and at the same time, when you do a sale, how the revenue has to streamline your entire flow happens when that's a kind of process which we need to it's an art. It has to be learned based on type of business, based on type of organization we are working with, correct? So if you go to an product companies, it's very easy. You sell a product, you get the sale number, and your revenue goes up, correct? If you go to a services industry, you do sales, but the revenue recognition takes over a period of X number of days. Similarly, if I talk about even with LeadSquared, even with the products like which is offered on a software as a service, all sales happen the first quarter of the year can serve that kind of revenue over a period of next 3 quarters. So that was one of the secrets which I learned in early days of time when I moved to software as a service as a model where I got into. So that's been a lot of difference, I think. So what we also look at is I remember times where sales had a lot of human touch. I still remember, I'm talking about somewhere 2000, 2001. I used to drive my bike to travel 40 miles to 50 miles to meet a customer. Used to use pager. Pager is a big thing those days. And we used to get a small message in a pager saying that, hey, customer XYZ wants to see the product and demo, and why don't you really come to that customer and start talking to him? And those days, telephone, mobile used to be very costly. So it used to have lot of physical effort which goes into not about a sales guy moving to various locations, talk about a product and offerings, but it also takes the entire ecosystem into a stress, because the cost of sale used to be very high. If you look at today, the entire story has been changed from what it used to be and what today it is, correct? So this is called digital disruption. So
Yeah,
that's where,
Navil, just before
yeah,
yeah, sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you, Navil. So just before you proceed ahead, can you go back to the previous slide? I see a lot of audience has joined today from the BFSI segment, from the education segment, right? So I really want, for their sake, I really want to know from you, how is the current situation different for somebody who is in education business or vis-a-vis somebody who is in the BFSI business? Can you give some example on and talk more about that? Also, I would like to add here that I don't agree. So I personally also not agree that revenue and sales go hand in hand. And I know that for a fact of matter that sometimes in usually in such current scenarios, you are doing sales, but it doesn't matter that revenue follows you automatically, right? So I have some difference of opinion there. So can you give some example for our audience that how their business is having having the different situation under the same current COVID scenario? So over to you, Nabil. Yeah.
Yeah, see, if you look at education, see, typically if you join to any course or education, correct? Say you pay the term fee, correct? The term fee is meant to be for a period of say 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, correct? This particular term fee, if you look at as per whatever the services you render, that's where the revenue gets recognized. So you might have sale done, you might have customers coming to you and registering for the services what you offer, but revenue comes only once you complete your services to them. So that's where uh,
Right.
this entire pattern changes. Go back to same in BFS, correct? Those days are different. I still remember in to get an application from the client, people used to physically travel to multiple locations. Today, you look at the banking application, everything does online. In fact, when I moved to Singapore, I never visited any bank here. I just did everything online, even my opening an account. Correct? It has become so easy. Just produce all digital copies and get your bank opening and start doing transaction next day. So that's how the life has been changed over the last 2 decades.
Right. All right. I think that answers, I think. So can we move ahead on this, I think?
Yeah. So as I said, digital transformation has played a big role in terms of changing in last 2 decades, if you really look at, and um, we talk about, correct? It's a buzzword. While we keep talking about digital transformation, or transformation is a buzzword. In last 2 decades, we have looked various methods adopting. Basically, if you go to any customer, it's not about what you try to sell to them, how virtually you want to be with the customer and be engaged to see how we can really take to the next time. And being digital has made also a larger disruption in your customer buying pattern. So customers starts getting a lot of information from your digital media, digital sources. He has better information about himself, how to choose, what to choose, and whom to call for a discussion, correct? Whom to meet, and how each product differs from product A and product B. What are the key differences of these products, and how to do a choice between these two products? What is going to benefit? What is going to change his entire business? What value chain it's going to bring into your entire cycle is where the entire process is getting deferred. So if you look at that, that's where people are moving towards. And it is important, it is very important that how much really do you know about your customer, correct? So how much do you really, when a sales guy really goes to a client, how much he really knows about customer? Is that automation is just helping to really reach out to the customer at the right time, or am I focusing to really look at how I can interact with the customer with the right information and right uh, data? Can I put myself into customer shoes? That's the biggest thing. So it's some of these can be old school thoughts, but these are the reality of sales life, correct? Because when you go to a client, you should be able to talk customer language. You should be able to give enough time to customer to really talk about his problems, pains, his thought process, and what is his future roadmap or a plan. And even in a COVID-like situation, if you really look at customer is going through a lot of pain, you want to reduce the cost, you want to increase revenue, you want to see where all automation can be done. One of the clients we have been talking saying that, okay, hey, I'm been servicing to it's a small educational institute where he has a nursery which runs between say a kindergarten school, and there it's very important how many students are getting registered, what kind of promotions I need to really to do and increase my strength. So if you look at the patterns keep changing and these challenges has to be taken up, and how do you really get and overcome these kind of challenges to see that how, whether a sales guy when he goes to any client is he able to understand all the business problems. That's where a lot of groundwork has to be done by a sales to understand, think what are those few things which you need to really talk about, what it can be much different from what you really can offer to the client, correct? It's just not a USP of the product which doesn't really sell these days. Abhishek, you have something to
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah, I think Navil, I totally agree with you. Especially, it's very, very important to see yourself in the customer shoes. And I think in my 7 years of journey, that is something which I have done always, and I think that has always worked with me. And I can tell from on everybody's behalf here, let them be in a B2B business or a B2C scenario or in finance, insurance, or education, travel, anywhere that works actually very well. You have to be very flexible. You have to offer the value to the customer, and then only you can actually ask for the long term collaboration. That's what I feel. And obviously in any situation, let it be before this scenario or after in the future, automation is always the key, which I'm going to cover in detail after we get to know more details from you, Nabil. I think so. I totally agree with you on this whole topic, and there's no kind of a difference of opinion from my side, Nabil. Yeah.
Yeah, I also see a
But
lot of sales guys
yeah.
with lot of enthusiasm comes with a point saying that, okay, hey, I need to strike a deal. See, today's sales is more say, hey, calm down. Don't really look at closing a deal. Don't really focus to close a deal. Deals will happen by itself as long
Yeah.
as you are trying to address what customer pain points are. How do you really make sure that those situations can customer overcome and he wins the trust? And you're the face of the
Yes.
company, right? So customer
No,
trust you more than anyone else.
I feel Nabil, so that's the core values for any sales guys, and I have seen a lot of people quit after. So since we are talking all about sales today, I will tell, so a lot of people will agree with me. So a lot of people quit after some time, and they say that it was not meant for me. But I always believe that it's not like that. It was not for you or not for me. But there are some key ingredients when you actually put yourself in the customer shoes. You drive the engagement properly. You are after customer to solve their problem rather than doing the sale. Things actually go hand in hand, right? So I think that will be from my side. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, you should keep your customer engaged all the time. You need to have a constant communication with him. You need to be more connected with customer. Try to understand the business journey. You need to get closely connected with his ecosystems, correct? So, when you go to customer X, you should understand what his competition does, what does his within an organization, what dynamics are going to take care, what change management he should really adopt, because every new solution, everything you are going to sell to customer, obviously expect some change management. How do those changes uh, can should not become imperitable? Say that okay, he'll not able to really adopt those changes. How he can really be along with the change and start dynamically accepting. Help you also need to track every moment and interactions. That's where your sales automation really helps and benefits to you.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
the other
that's
thing,
that's pretty.
yeah,
That's pretty interesting topic. I think is digital replacing the human to human interaction. I think audience can also post their queries in between. We can take them and discuss about that as well. But yeah, Nabil, I would love to hear on your views on this. Yeah.
Yes. Is digital is replacing human-to-human interaction? I would say yes and no. There's a very clear. I would typically go by saying that human is human, and digital, whatever it might be, it cannot replace 100%. But yes, at some areas like B2C markets, I have seen a lot of AI engine, cognitive engines, which have been built to see how the sales can really happen. Correct? Look at your Facebook, look at your LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, how our lives have got changed. I was just talking to us 2 days back. I was talking to one of my close connected friend, and he want to go and call his friend. He says, "Hey, I have WhatsApp him." So it's just a part of, say, he need to just walk to next door and say, "Hey, we want to really get this connected." So people are trying to communicate through the digital channel media and see how they want to be more inclined towards not physically meeting, not having the human interaction. If you look at really, go to any website, go to BFS website, or you go to any particular thing to buy an e-commerce, there's a bot which pops up saying that, hey, what are you looking for? And based on different types of search, what you do, there's a cognitive engine built in which tells really talk about, hey, these are the few items which might interest you when you are really surfing through my application, or when you are going through my application. In fact, I remember in one of the project deliveries which we did for one of the giant FMCG market, we built a cognitive engine which tells for a customer what is his consumption pattern, basically the groceries he consumes over a period. Over 6 months to 1 year, the data is to collect, and based on seasonal data, based on type of temperature you have outside, what kind of season you have, and based on your health conditions, it used to really draw the entire grocery list. And all is that he just clicks a button, goes to that grocery, who delivers online. So correct. So so B2C has played a major role uh, in terms of removing human to human interactions, correct? Because even if you look at an automobile, I still remember one of the projects which we did in automobile, which used to do, the problem statement was, how do I increase my sales? How do I see my customer journey and decision patterns, correct? So when we started looking at this kind of problem statement, when we really put across, just not about the CRM, just not about marketing automation. Beyond that, we pulled in AI engine, built a separate analytical model which artificially runs by itself. It keeps learning by itself by the models what we build, and it used to predict from the social listening, from his behavior pattern, from his spending pattern, from his movements around, what kind of search he does an engine, and various search engines what he is doing, and based on that, it used to tell almost 95% accuracy in terms of whether this customer is willing to buy that particular automotive or not. And when he comes to a showroom, the salesman has most of the information in hand, including the behavior pattern, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what is he looking for a finance, he's not looking for a finance, does he likes this particular model, what kind of segment he is looking at, what kind of ecosystem he carries, and what is the right product to sell, correct? So it becomes very easy for a customer to sell and close a deal. But if you look at same scenario, you go to B2B segment, majorly if I'm trying to sell business solution, or if I'm trying to sell LeadSquared to a customer, there are multiple stakeholders who comes in between, correct? So we need to really understand who are the influencers, who are actually going to be a decision maker, who has the power to really sign a check for us, correct? So there are multiple stakeholders in this organization. Then it requires, while it requires lot of automation, lot of customer relation management, lot of engagement with customer to see how how you keep engaging, keep sharing the data, relevant data to various stakeholders to talk about how your product is going to meet the customer pain, or how it can remove the customer pain points and all. But uh, at the same time, there it requires a lot of human intervention. That's my strong belief, and I go with saying that okay, human to human interactions are required in some of the sales activities. I think even Abhishek should agree with this. While he
Um,
says,
yeah. Navil,
yeah,
my take on all this will be a very in a very single line that see obviously digital can never replace the human to human interaction completely, because when we meet people or by any way, right? So that's how things progress and the engagement is deepen and things go in hand, right? But I would say that if human will still interact with human, but the medium will become digital. So the mode of interaction or the medium will completely change, as we are seeing currently that with this current situation also, whatever we might wish, but eventually this will happen, and we have to accept it and embrace it, that humans have to interact with other people majorly through the digital mediums. And I think that is what we are seeing right now as well, which is happening just before the time that would have happened in, say, in the next 5 years. It is happening right now, which is good for business also, which might be bad for in some way as well for some industries. But I'm quite positive about this whole change management, and let's see where we all are after 6 months from now.
yeah, that's true. Automation is required.
Yeah.
Intelligence is required. AI, ML, we talk all these new technologies. All these technologies are required to go after. But still, somewhere I feel human touch is required, because that plays a major role in terms of closing a lot of good deals in the market. So I have been
Ultimately, so people buy from people, right? They don't buy your product. So I think that's what you are trying to mention. Let it.
For me, this is a big change, Abhishek. I mean, if I really talk about, I never did this kind of online activities all my life, correct? So I still remember 2000, yeah, it's around 2007, 2008, when I was the first sales guy for a SaaS product. People told me, hey, you have to be more digital. You should really do a lot of telecalling, do webinars, do demos online to see how you can sell products and solutions. I was not very comfortable because I come from India. I always feel that hey, there is a human touch, and you play with the emotions of customer and see what is that customer is looking, and how do you solve his pain problem, pain areas. How do you really address his business problems? How do you really touch those sensitive emotions of customer to see, hey, we know confident, hey, these are salesperson I need to trust, I need to believe, and he can change my life, he can bring uh, lot of automation which can really improve my process. He can address my pain problems, correct? So that's where I have seen the changes in the entire
But
last 2 decades. Yeah.
yeah, but Navil, I believe that slowly, and we all have been observing this, that customer buying and selling persona both are like will change, right? So buyer attributes are also changing, and the seller attributes personas are also changing. The process is changing, their critical issues are changing, and I think it's all behavioral change which will eventually take place, and we all will be embracing the technology. But I totally agree with your point. So that brings me to another thing. I think since audience is also actively looking at you from the experience standpoint, you are having more than 2.5 decades of experience. Can you also put some light on like how was the situation when last time such force measure kind of a situation happened and industries were disrupted? We saw a number of startups like were born after the 2008 recession, right? So you were there in the industry, you were right center of the whole thing, right? So and you were heading the sales for one of the fastest growing company at that time. So a lot of people are here today who have joined us. They would like to know how they can reform their sales team, what actions they can take. So can you also want to talk something about that, like some final tip on that for our today's audience?
Yeah, so I have seen two recessions basically in 2001. People are, for me, it was a budding stage where I am like you, Abhishek, who had just started my career in sales, IT sales. But since I came from business background, I was able to understand certain business models in terms of how these really models work in whether you are trying to sell a business solution or an application or any kind of automation, correct? So I used to step myself into his shoes and try to understand what. So getting leads, getting a channel. See, marketing automation will get you a lot of inquiries, a lot of communication, but just sending mails, communicating over emails and other things will not close the deal, correct? So unless you really open up a conversation where customers start sharing his pain points, customers starts talking about the right, what are the challenges he is facing to see how to overcome. That actually happens when you really talk more sense, when you really understand the business. So that's where I said, correct, sales is an art and it has to be played according to which customer you are playing. I remember in 2008, for me, it was a very tough time to really close an ERP deal and going after every customer to talk about USP of a product. We used to tell about how a cloud product can really work and how this cloud all about, correct? People still remember thinking about when we say the data resides on cloud, hey, what happens in some part of India? I still remember, it's a joke, but in some part of India, people used to say, if it rains, where will my data go off? So we have to explain them. We have to tell them how do you, how is the data is secured. So a lot of things have changed from there to now. Those days, it was really tough to really not. One thing I figured out when I started selling USP driven sales, customer never used to like us. And those days we used to really think. And today we talk about design thinking, correct? The same thing we used to opt, we used to iterate, we used to learn from every sales activity we do. We go to customer, we understand his business process, we allow customer to really talk length and breadth about his business, his challenges, what is he going through. We also take industry experts along with us to understand how these businesses can be transformed, what are the best industry standards they are following up. In fact, I remember a couple of days back, one of the renowned insurance company in APAC region was trying to understand, hey, if you want to do marketing automation, would you suggest me what is the best practice, what the industry is following up, correct? So if you look at, everyone wants to see what success stories the other carries and how those can be implemented, how can they overcome with their challenges within the organization. So these are the changing times where people really need to understand, and this dynamic behavior has to happen from the both sales and at the customer level. And how do you really, these patterns keep changing, correct? So this keeps evolving over a period.
Right, Navil,
Neville,
right. Yeah.
I will just jump in here quickly because we have questions. So I'll take Ashutosh's question. He says, as all B2B companies will shift to sales automation, as that I need as that is the need of the hour during these tough times. So how do we differentiate ourselves and win sales?
Yeah, B2B, I still strongly believe there is a human touch which is required, while all this automation will certainly keep your customer engagement, customer experience, and the interactions, correct? So automation will certainly help a lot in terms of keeping you completely engaged with your customers, correct? And during this, when you're sharing a lot of information with a client, it's also important what is the relevant information you're saying. So, and it gives right reminders at right time to say, hey, I need to follow up on particular document which I've shared. I need to follow up, for example, if you're trying to sell a business solution, what is the customer pain points? Customer comes with his pain points, then you go and address saying that, okay, hey, this is a pain point I'm trying to address with this solution, and customer opens up, hey, this addresses some part of my business, how does it addresses to some other area? Then you also relate how those solutions can be designed and given. At the same time, you also talk about industry best practices. You share some articles, you share some document, white papers, case studies in the market. So that interaction keeps going. Now, what it brings in as a sales is also a smartness in terms of understanding at every interaction what you do with your client. You will get a lot of clues, whether you talk about customer budget, whether you talk about customer pain points, whether you talk about his buying pattern. And as I said multiple times, sale will happen by itself as long as you have to have a right string to pull up at right point in time. That is where uh, the smartness comes in the sales guy. So I don't know whether I have addressed the right point, but this is what I personally feel.
He has a follow-up question actually. So he says, how does sales automation help in extracting pain points and client concern areas?
Abhishek, do you want to talk about how does really the sales automation really work? You're an expert in that.
Yeah, why not? So, Ashutosh, I would say, see, it's a quite subjective question, but I will still, so it depends upon which industry you are. So, if you are using any automation tool and you have all the things in place, and obviously you know about your customer and your business, what you are doing currently without an automation platform and what you will do with an automation platform will have a huge difference because, see, everybody knows about their business and the customer, but the only challenge is that they're not able to basically touch base with their customer at the right time, send them the right kind of communication, engage them at the very right moment, so that the customer is always busy with your services and your product, and they always have you in their mind, right? So that's what sales automation does. Any automation platform brings you and your customer closer to each other because, see, sales is no rocket science. If you are sending me the right kind of value, if you are through all the different mediums and I'm getting at the right moment before I jump to any other customer vendor or any other service provider, and that's how you engage everybody on the right moments and things go in your favor, right? So it's a process, it's a long process when you start from the, I would say, the lead generation till the deal comes to your company, right? So it's the whole process which I will talk in very detail when I take over and showcase you how you can do it using some of the available platform in the market, right? So it's not only about the platform only. Sales automation is also a mindset, I would say, which is basically used while you implement such kind of solutions, because only solution cannot bring any change in your business if your mindset and your strategy and your people mindset is not in the right place, right? So we'll cover that in detail. So I think just taking considering the time also, I think Navil, we had a very good points from you, and I think your experience is quite valuable and tremendous. I am sure that a lot of people would like to connect as well, because we always have limited time in this webinars and kind of this question answer sessions will take in the end. So I think now I would rather like to show everybody. So before I start, Nabil, do you have any closing points for our audience? And we'll be very happy to take over from there.
See, my closing point is as a salesperson, adoption is inevitable, correct? Accept these changes as the time comes. Be proactive, dynamic. Adopting new rules of the game is very important because what not? See, unless we really look at how these changes will really come across, you should be very adaptive in those changes to bring in your life, correct? So that's where uh, you move on with your sales cycle, correct? Yeah.
Right. All right, everybody. I think thanks a lot, Nabil. It was pleasure listening from you. So everybody, I think thanks for very patiently listening to Nabil so far. And I'm very, very much sure that all the sales gyan you have heard so far and all the strategies we discussed and all his experience, I'm sure that now you really want to see how we can put all this under some platform, and based upon your business, I have got tremendous kind of a value today on my presentation. I will cover industry wise. I know a lot of people have come from different kind of verticals altogether. I will show you how you can use some available platform and you can basically automate your entire sales and marketing process, because nobody, I'm sure that nobody here has to teach you how to do sales, right? That's why you are doing your business, and that's why, and you know yourself, you know your customer, your business, everything. What you want is a automation platform which can increase your efficiency, number one, reduce your cost, number two, number three, automate your entire business and gives you the accelerated revenue. And that is why, as a product expert and as a sales expert, I am here to help you out, and will be happy to take you one to one apart from this session as well. well. So all right, everyone, since I'm from LeadSquared, I will tell you for about LeadSquared, but to be very honest with you, there are multiple sales and marketing automation platform based upon your business crafted, which are available in the market. You can always go through them and evaluate them as your CRM or marketing automation partner. But today we'll talk about LeadSquared, and this is what LeadSquared is all about. We cover, or for any CRM or any sales automation for that matter, it covers everything from the first step, which is your lead generation. For the B2B companies, I'm sure you don't call them lead, you call them accounts, right? So you can be from any B2B company or from any B2C company. The first point till the closure, or maybe the cross sell, upsell for increasing the lifetime value, trust me, everything can be automated using any good platform available in the market. You just need to have your strategies, intent, and your right attitude and platform in the place. All right, so I'm going to tell you what you can do with LeadSquare today and evaluate the competitions in the market. Okay, so we have a sales automation platform which basically covers everything from lead capture automation, distribution to your entire big team. I'm sure a lot of you will have a lot of teams sitting based out of different geographies. You must be having problems like a lot of leakages there, how to automate that part. So as I told to Ashutosh, it's a process. You automate capture part, you automate distribute part, you automate the engagement part, you drive the engagement at all the right moments, and finally customer comes to you. I did that recently with a very strong customer. I made sure that using my own intelligence, my own expertise, and my platform, I have always engaged them at the very right moments, and that's how I won that deal recently, right? So there are many examples I can showcase you, and that was never possible if I was not having a strong platform to automate my stuff, right? So then this platforms also helps you in opportunity identification, cross sell engine, and also it will make sure that there is zero leakage in terms of lead engagement. Your customers are satisfied, you're always close to them. If they're looking for Audi, you're pitching them Audi, you're not pitching them Porsche. If they're looking for Audi right now, you are not pitching them Audi after 2 days. And that's how the engagement goes on, and you get the revenue in your business, right? And you also get to know about their engagement on your platform, on your website, on your mobile app, and you send them the right data at the right time so that the right thing happens in your business. All right, such solution in the market, they cover your entire team, your marketing, your call center sales, your digital sales, your account management say team, relationship management, service. Everybody comes under the automation process. It's not only about sales automation, it's about automating everything to get the maximum results out of the minimum investment and the time, right? All right, again, to describe this is how everybody's business look like in this modern era. I'm pretty much sure about this, right? For example, you have all these channels. I'm sure you must be going all digital because this is 2020 already, and as Navil covered, it's the time to embrace all these technology and go digital. You must be having lead engagement, you must have a lead engagement platform in place. Your core business system will also be there. For example, if you are a financial company, your loan origin system will be there, your underwriting platforms will be there. If you're a travel company, your own booking platform will be there. If you're an education company, your ERPs will be there. So LeadSquared or any sales automation platform sits right in the center, and it's integrated with all other platforms. Just imagine what I'm telling you right now to avoid any kind of leakages. Then there is a call center team, there's a field agent. Any automation platform will cover everybody and make sure that they have the right tool to execute their sales and marketing. All right, so as I told you, in any business, you name the business, I will tell you the first important step is always to automate your inquiry capture from all the sources without any leakages, and that's what any automation tool in the market does at the right place. I don't talk about LeadSquared only here. Any platform which you are using or which you want to use in future, which is good enough, will always make sure that you have no leakages in terms of anything. So it integrates with all the social channels and communication channels and becomes the omni-channel automation platform for you, right? And it also integrates with your telephony or third-party integration, Zoom, or if you're already using some CRM like Salesforce or Dynamics, then automation, because see, these are conventional CRM platforms, and now you might need something on top of CRM, which might be an automation platform like LeadSquared. So CRM is a very big platform which has a bouquet of all the modules, but a tool like LeadSquared is primarily for the customer acquisition and to make sure that you sell more and more to your customer, right? So that is how LeadSquared is adding a lot of value in the customer business. And then if you are from financial side, you will understand what is OCR, what is the national ID validation platform. So we also integrate with any those platforms so that you can automate your background verification process or your KYC process, video KYC. All that can be done using any automation platform. All right, so taking you quickly towards the sales automation now without wasting any further time of yours. Now the next step is to distribute your contacts or inquiries among your team, which is sitting across the globe, right? And all that has to be automated without any human effort. So that's like reduce turnaround time and sell faster with intelligent lead distribution. Put any logic and the automation platform will do the job for you. Remember my words, right? So try this in any sales automation platform. There are multiple logics. You can also cap the distribution limit. For example, if you give me 100 leads in a day, sorry, I'm not a robot. I also have to do other works. I have to, apart from my work, I have my family. I have to do a lot of stuff. So you can cap the things on me. Say 20 leads will be given to this guy and I will monitor his performance on that. So that is where the analytics and automation comes into the picture. Then you can also have product wise distribution, for example A, B, C, and will be distributed to your central team, north team, south team. If you are in Africa, you are in Singapore, ANZ, Europe, America, wherever you are, you can put this logic. Then normal logics like round robin, availability based distribution, performance based distribution, everything is right there available in any automation platform. Then the next step, while the sales guy will get their lead on the platform, obviously they will have so much work to do. And if they're working on Excel right now, I'm really sorry, they have to come on the automation platform. Time is like that. And not only automation, they have to automate after getting the leads. Their activity and task also has to be automated. There is no time to manually fill up their activities and tasks. Everything has to be automated. I will show you how. So now this is how their task will look like in the actual screen in LeadSquared. That might look in a different way to any other automation platform. It really depends, right? The idea is to provide a good platform to everybody in your company, and then provide them a centralized platform, and this is called smart views. And this is one of the feature of LeadSquared sales automation, which is a beautiful place which tells your people, hey boss, when you log in, go to smart view, see all your new leads for today, your follow-up calls for today, your overdue. So this is also part of automation. Because of certain logic, your people are getting the most qualified people to call, or you can say lead to call, on the single dashboard. And this is what saves a lot of time for your people. This is called intelligent smart view and a regimented fashion of working. Do you understand? Very, very important for your business if you're really interested in save your time. And because automation, the whole idea is to save your time and increase your productivity, and that's how the conversion and the revenue drives in the business, right? All right, going further, you all will agree with me that sales only happens if you have a quality, or I would say sales qualified leads. And let me be very honest with you, if I also do sales, I do a lot of engagement with my customer. I help them going out of the way and always empower them with the knowledge what their competitors are doing, what their peers are doing, how I will add value. And after offering the extreme value only, I always suggest for the long term collaboration. And that's how you have to go. You just cannot start doing the sales, I mean to say, by pitching that I have this feature, my education program will give you this alumni status, or my insurance will give you this much of coverage. No, you have to tell them what value they will get out of it. You have to tell them what others are having, and then you give them some insights and educate them, as I told you in my last webinar. And that's how you basically put the hammer when the nail is the most hot, right? So that's how it happens. So That's the for to put it in a place and a platform, we call it as a lead tracking and marketing automation. All right, so now when your people will have the lead, they will see what all your customer is doing with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Isn't it interesting? Once you have your customer data in any automation platform, the automation platform also tells you what your customer is doing. For example, if he's opening my email, he's going to my website, he's picking my call, everything will be tracked, and based upon their behavior, you can actually pitch the next item to them, and that's how you create a train of engagement. And trust me, if that trains break, the sales never happens. You agree with me? If there is a train running on the track and it breaks from in between, the half of the train will not reach the destination, and you will not get what you were looking for, right? So it's very similar to what I just told you. So I'm just telling you everything in a sequence, and you have to adopt this as soon as possible. If you are already using it, good to you, good for you, kudos to you and your team. Always look for scaling on top of that. But if you're not using it, try any automation platform right now. You This is the best time to adopt and implement, right? Then you can also segregate. Now you know the interest of your customer. As I told you, tracking is there. So now you can also segment them based upon different categories, and then you can target them based upon their interest, as shown in this slide. Because we also give any automation platform, not LeadSquared, let's not talk about LeadSquared only here. The idea is to help you. You use any platform, they give you the score for the engagement of your customer. For example, somebody submitted the form, the score will increase. Somebody called you on the IVR number, the score will further increase. And your sales guy added a sales activity, the score will also increase, right? So scoring is very important. It's important to get the lead, it's important to get the tracking on that, and it's very important to also segment them and pitch them what you really want to pitch. And that is what my current slide talks about. You will have a omni-channel medium. Always remember, never pursue customer only from one channel. As a sales guy, I always call them. After 2 days, I WhatsApp them. After one day, I email them again. Then I send them SMS, and I actually create the whole circle around my customer so that he can never look outside me. Wherever he will look, he will always find Abhishek and LeadSquared. That is what I go by always, right? So that is what you have to do. And when he sees me, he has to see value in me, my product, and the relationship we have built together. That is what I always believe in personally, right? All right, so this is the example of automation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure this is what you were waiting so far. So this is the automation builder in most of the strong sales automation platform out there available in the market. You can literally create your journeys in the platform. Yes. Like for example, this automation talks about nurturing your client via SMS and retarget on Facebook. Who would not want that? I would always want to automate this, because if your salespeople, suppose you are a B2B sales guy, and Navil told us that okay, a lot of human interaction is there in B2B. I feel that that will also become obsolete day by day, because all things will go digital. If the human interaction is 10% right now, will go to 1% and slowly become zero, because this automation can do everything. You tell me, if your sales guy has 100 leads, can he call, WhatsApp, email, SMS everybody on everyday basis manually? No. It is better to create automation. For example, drop email to Navil today, drop SMS to Navil after 2 days. If he clicks on the link on the SMS, after one day, drop a WhatsApp message. If he reads the WhatsApp message, notify me. I will call Navil on the fifth day. Trust me, it's better to build your logic on the platform and always follow that automation religiously, and you will sail through. Mark my words. That's what I do, and I do with my team in LeadSquared, and I suggest to my customers so far in my journey, and everybody has seen an increased productivity and revenue increment by more than 40-50%. Trust me, you can always try any other platform, any other industry expert, and this will happen in your business if you are having the right intent and the right strategy and the right platform. All right, another example. If you have received an inquiry mapped to a particular account, this is for a B2B company, then you put a logic if else and you do your stuff and send the communication via multiple channels. The best thing is every platform automation have a tracking mechanism to tell you the reports, like how many people went through this stage, how many people went through that stage, and you can always modify your automation as per the change in your business and strategy. What else you want, this is what you can do. And trust me, entire business, let it be the lead nurturing, lead management, sales closure, cross sell, upsell, invoicing, ticket management, whatever you do, calling, digital sales, field sales, bank assurance, education product selling, let it be a real estate flat selling, or let it be a travel package selling, you give me the example, I can draw for you right away, and with some fine tuning we can sail you through together. All right, coming to the sales automation for which you are waiting. Now we have the lead, we have the tracking, we have the qualified sales lead or sales ready lead. Now what to do? I'm sure you want to know, Abhishek, what to do now. This is what you have to do now. As a sales guy, I'm talking to you as a sales guy, between a sales to salesperson, right? Segment your data now, since you have all the qualified data with you. With the help of a marketing automation, visualize with me. Now you segment your data. Okay, all the sales ready leads for product A come into this bucket, come into B bucket, from Malaysia and looking for insurance or something like that, put it in another bucket. Now what to do? Now you start managing them and following them by whatever way you want, and segment them based upon the hotness, warmness, and coldness, because all other segmentation without this is incomplete. Because ultimately you have to get revenue out of it. So now you have to decide based upon certain logic in your mind or in the automation platform, that how can you segregate based upon your product the customer into three categories: cold, warm, and hot. That's what I do to get the effective business from my customers, right? And then if I go ahead, now this is a proper sales automation. Whenever your sales guy, now you know what, I will tell you how automation complements the human effort, and understand this clearly. If I am talking to you right now and pitching my product, after disconnecting the call, I will simply mark the activity based upon our interaction. For example, positive phone call, negative phone call, not interested, interested. And you know what, obviously I should not do the rest of the work manually, because I have to work on other leads and deals as well. I am a sales guy, my job is to increase the revenue. I'm not supposed to do the transactional work, right? And that is where the automation takes place. The moment you add the activity, the automation will check the criteria, whatever logic you want to put behind multiple if else, and it will distribute the lead or create the next task for you. You don't even have to create the next task for you manually. Everything will be auto created in the sequential way. All depends upon what logic you have placed in the automation. All right, now this slide I really love, and I really want to show you in detail. See, I have tried to explain you. See, always remember, the first step is to monitor. Now I am assuming I'm talking from the sales manager point of view. For example, my sales rep has added an activity on the customer. Now this is the monitor process. I'm creating a monitor mechanism. Now after monitor, based upon his activity, I want next set of activities to be automated. So I will put my logic processing here. This is the CPU of the automation, central processing unit. And based upon the processing, I will ask the automation, hey automation, if you are a human being, listen to me. If my sales guy has done this activity, can you please perform these actions on his behalf? Automation will say, why not, boss? And you know what, the best part is, automation doesn't even catches the coronavirus. It works in all the condition 24/7. And when your sales guys are sleeping, automation will be working. If somebody comes on your education website and looking for MBA at the 2 o'clock in the night, I'm sure you must be sleeping in the tight and you will not be knowing about that. But automation will take it over based upon the clicks and the behavior on the product. Automation will send the right communication, and while the By the time sales guy will wake up in the morning, it would have already engaged and nurtured the customer and will give you the ready-made dish to eat on your plate. And now obviously you have to help yourself with eating the food, and that's what you have to do as a human being. So human effort plus automation effort is the bingo combination for your business. I have covered a lot of scenarios for that. This slide tells in more detail. Monitor, process your logic, and action. When this guy wakes up in the morning, notify him that, boss, your person was actually on the website. Send sales alert to your account manager. Why don't you call him right now? And if you call in the 9 o'clock to the customer and say, hey boss, you were checking my website yesterday and you went through the insurance product or traveled to Bangkok or something like that, customer will be very happy. Trust me, customer will be very, very happy that you are actually taking care of them and you care about their interest and you are pitching at the right moment. And that's what automation does for exactly for you. Now, another example, very detailed example, automation helps in monitor process action. You update activity, you wait for some time, you put a process again, you send the email. If the email was open, you wait another 1 hour, you again check the logic, you again send the email. That's what humans also do. If you agree with me, based upon the responses, they keep drafting the manual emails. But do you think without automation you can scale? You cannot scale. If you have 3,000 people, doesn't matter, I can do the same job with 300 people, and rest of the things automation can do. I don't want people to do the transactional work in my company. I want people to add value, grow in their career, grow my company, and get the maximum out of the whole scenario. And that's what we all are supposed to do, right? Aren't we? All right, so quickly closing this slide because I already given one example. Then how to engage and nurture leads to push them faster down the sales funnel. I'm sure there will be multiple scenarios where your salespeople will be putting a lot of energy in the deal, but there is something which they are missing. As a manager, why don't you use your expertise and create a tremendous automation and help while they are doing the manual or human interaction with the customer? So this is one example. You can put up a communication based upon the engagement between your sales guy and the customer. This is very, very interesting workflow on the status change of activity. For example, somebody changed the status of the customer from prospect to opportunity. Then this is a good example of what to do next. I'm sure that this will vary from business to business, industry to industry, scenario to scenario, but the idea is to show you capability today. And let's connect offline and I share my expertise with you, and you don't take LeadSquared, that's okay with me, but you get the value straight in your business. That's my whole agenda. You take any platform of your choice and implement the automation, because this is a time to grow together and increase the economy and revenue of your country, right? You just cannot sit and complain to the whole situation. You have to do your best in the whole given situation, because we all are together in this, right? Now ultimately track what your salespeople are doing, how many meetings they are doing, how many tasks they are completing. Everything will be automated in the form of a report. So that's called analytic automation. That is also typically present in all kind of automation platform. And finally, you can also automate the entire hierarchy in the platform. For example, you will say, Abhishek, I have a sales head sitting in Singapore, his team is sitting in Malaysia, his team is sitting in, further team is sitting in India, Bengaluru, and their team is sitting in Africa, and somebody is sitting in Australia. That doesn't matter at all. You can completely map the hierarchy on any automation platform and make sure that people see what they are destined or what they are desired to see. They don't see the data which is critical for your business, and you only have the sole access as an admin user of the platform. That is also there. And now this is the last topic I will cover, which is to the point. I have some automation scenarios created specifically for the industry wise. So all the education people in the house today, this is for you, for Education Institute, how you can automate your entire application process till the enrollment. I'm sure you all are excited now to see this. All right. So the moment application form is viewed, there will be two scenarios. Either they will proceed ahead. Yes, they have proceed ahead, send the counseling invite, wait till the day of counseling attended, qualify for the course, send the payment details. That is what you do in the ideal situation. Agree or not? Yes or no? Yes, right? If no, then obviously suggest other day for counseling. If no, then offer counselor to suggest other courses, because in any situation you would not want them to go. You will sell any course. I have full confidence on you, because that is how I was also sold during my graduation, when I was looking for some course but I was sold another course. So that's how it goes in the real world, right? And when you complete application, if they don't complete, notify salesperson to follow up with the client or the student or the parent to complete the application process. Now shall I tell you something? This can be end-to-end automated in a single workflow of LeadSquared or any other automation platform. Going ahead, real estate guys. So for you, I know you are badly affected, but I have something for you as well. I know you cannot show your sites. I know that you cannot take your client to the site visit, but can't you create videos? Can't you send them the video of your project? Can't you send them the presentation? You can do. You can tell how your property is sanitized. You can tell that you are giving some liters of free sanitizers with your flat, right? You can come up with a lot of interesting ideas while the whole world is very cruel on you. I'm sure the real estate guys are always badly affected, but you can also adapt the automation. I know the cost comes with it, but don't look it as a cost. Look at it as an investment, which will give you a lot of fruits in the future. So this automation I will share with you. I have to cover, so I will quickly cover other industries as well. I am sure that this is self-readable and will be sent to you as a presentation after this webinar as well. And I will be open for the questions as well after this webinar. Then for travel, hospitality, health and wellness, I'm sure you are also tremendously affected. But this kind of automation can really help you to safeguard whatever business is left with you, especially for travel and hospitality. I'm sure you have come to standstill zero, but you can also do some kind of a newsletter communication. I'm seeing a lot of big travel companies are sending me very good content about, they're educating people about the culture of the places. They're educating people about how to visit there after corona, what kind of government regulations are prevailing. Why don't you use some marketing automation platform to communicate with your customer? This is the right time, right? So this is for you. I don't want to get into details, but this is again self-explanatory, and you can create this automation and try the result in any sales automation platform. For the loan providers, I'm sure guys, you're very happy. All your fingers are completely dipped in the sweets, and you are very happy because a lot of people are going under financial crisis and they will take a lot of loans from you. So for you, I'm sure that this is again a very good time to automate your business. I'm sure you are getting good revenue, but why not take the full advantage of the situation and automate your entire process using this automation? So we'll discuss this separately again. And considering the time, for insurance also I had developed something. Again, you guys are also very lucky. Everybody wants to have a corona specific insurance, and non-corona everything is going very good in your business. I'm sure with bit of a strategy change and with bit of a automation, a pinch of automation salt in your recipe will give you 100x results. I can assure you that. If you want to know, you can maybe hire me as a consultant for your digital transformation, and we'll let you know how to adopt and implement this whole platform, or maybe any other platform of your choice. We'll be very happy to do that, right? And very quickly, I'm sure your teams are not going on the field right now, but any automation platform also has a field automation platform to make sure that your people can tomorrow work from the field. They don't have to carry laptop because their all location will be tracked. They can also add inquiries from the mobile phone. They can click photographs. They can call the customer, SMS, email from the mobile app. They can schedule the Zoom meeting. They can collect the document if your business covers that part as well. And you can also track your agents completely, how many meetings they have done, to make sure that their productivity keep increasing and they don't fool you around, right? The last part is in-depth reporting. Obviously, having all the automation in place and having no reporting in place is like, what do you say, having a meal and not having a dessert after that, right? So that is how I would like to explain that. So you should have all kind of reporting in the platform, which any platform will give you right now, any automation platform. all kind of reports comes in, your task summary, productivity reports, automation reports, how did your customers progressing in the funnel, and how your email campaigns are performing, and how your overall sales numbers are going to come, how your people are traversing through the automation and finally getting converted, how your users are performing, how the overall analytics is performing, and finally the key values of automation. You know what, let me summarize you in this way: automation will surely increase your productivity, will make the whole process simple and efficient. Trust me, it is not complex. You are the owner of your business. At least as an employee, you are the owner of your process. I work, whenever I work in my company, I work as an employer. I don't work as an employee. I own my set of processes, and I make further strategies around it, right? So if you know your business in your mind, it is not difficult to create it on the platform in the automation builder. It's very simple and efficient. It is highly agile. Humans cannot replace automation. Automation might replace human, but human cannot replace for sure, because automation works in multi-dimension in a single millisecond. So that's the power of automation, and implementation is very easy, as I told you, and it is a scalable and do it yourself technology. Do you think is it there is a better way to summarize this? This was my take on the automation. And all such automation platforms are cloud friendly, they are highly secure, and they work 24/7, so that your business is never down and you can completely rely on them. And that is what takes me to the thank you of my session. I really wish that I could add some value in your business, which will really go very, very long, and will be very, very happy to take questions if there are any. If they are not, we'll be happy to connect separately and help you in your digital transformation journey. Thanks a lot, everybody, for being a very, very patient audience. And Shibani, do we have any questions here?
Not specifically, but I think I will ask a question since I think this will be on a lot of people's minds. And quick reminder to the audience also, just before we conclude, if you have any closing thoughts, please share, or questions, or like Abhishek said, I can connect you with them offline. So, Abhishek, in terms of implementation time, how long do you think it takes for businesses to implement a automation process?
Very good question. So I think it's important to know that, because all this gyan and all this knowledge, and you must be wondering, boss, how do we implement this in such a short span of time? We're already under turmoil and all. Trust me, all these platforms are highly configurable. When I say configurable, there is no hard coding required. You just consult any automation platform, they will support you like anything, obviously, because everybody is looking for business right now, but don't look at from that angle. People will support you, they will connect with you, they will understand your process, and they will configure everything on cloud. It's all drag and drop. As you saw, I would like to show the people something. I think showing everything and not showing them this will be half done actually. So this is my actual platform, ladies and gentlemen, just showing you one clip to make sure to show you that how easily anybody can draw their automation. For example, whenever a new lead is captured, I want to send them an email, and I can select the template, something like that. Can you see, it's all drag and drop? So that must be giving you idea. If I talk about a financial company, won't take more than 10 working days to fully implement, and another 10 days for maybe adapt the solution. Then it also depends upon your people intent and how quick they are, and what kind of service provider and what kind of relationship and what kind of business services your partner is going to give you. So just evaluate the best option in the market and start today. Start evaluating today. I'm sure by 15th of June, you will be standing at a very, very comfortable position in your business. Right. So that will be my take on this, Shibani.
Okay, and another question from Raja. He says, how will this be useful for someone who's self-employed selling IT products?
Why not? So, Raja, I'm assuming if you're a single man army and you are selling the IT service products, and so basically you are again doing a B2B kind of sale. So even in your scenario also, it's quite useful, because as a single person, or maybe if you have team also, you will not be able to reach a maximum number of people. If you try to do so, you will not be able to scale, right? So whatever products you are selling, suppose you are selling
This
multiple
I want
products.
to add. Abhishek, I want to add. See, if you look at for B2B and B2C, especially with Raja's business, Probably he should
Right.
look at marketing automation is one tool which he can use to connect to most of his customers, keep them engaged continuously, constantly keep the information or new promos and activities, whatever he does within his organization, correct? The second part is how do you really connect, engage with the customer, whether any inquiry comes in, how do you really connect end to end is automation which is going to help. It doesn't require see, what happens most of the time, someone has to remind you, or customer has to follow up for proposal, customer has to follow up for a specifications of that particular product and all. So those are the things which you can really automate by using these tools. Yeah, over to Abhishek.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. And parallelly, I was showcasing how some automations can be built as well. So I think will surely help you, Raja. You can always try, because if you have a small setup, always try small and scale as you want to grow, and automate 30% at least of your business, or 20% to start. See, you have to start from somewhere. Never look at it as a you have to do it everything on the day one. Start from somewhere. You have 10 process in your business. At least automate one, two, three, you test them, and then you automate four, five, six, and that's how you go ahead in your journey, right? So that will be my take on that, and I can also consult you separately on this if you really want. Yeah.
Okay, I am moving to Monica's questions. She says, "Hi, this is Monica. How would increase you're in pharma, or we are trading by retailers? How close to these orders are committed?" So basically, in the pharmaceutical industry, is what I understand, Neville and Abhishek, and
No,
they're either
very
trading or retailers.
very, very good point. So if you are, suppose I'm assuming you are a manufacturer of pharmaceutical products, the very good use case will be, now tell me one thing, your product is solely depend upon your distributor channel and your retailer channel, right? So this platform will also help you. See, if you have 10 distributors and you have 100 distributor, obviously your business will grow better if you have 100 different distributor operating for you and distributing your product, right? So such platforms also helps you to onboard and expand and manage your existing distributor kind of a people. And this platform will make sure that you are engaging your distributors also. You are telling them continuously about your product, and they are more than happy and motivated to sell your product, right? So the lead doesn't have to has to be an end customer in all the scenario. The lead can be your distributors also, the lead can be your partners also, right? So if you know what, Monica, if you just use such platform to engage your distributors, I'm sure that you are going to increase a lot of demand in the market, and a lot of supply will be increased for you, right? So that is just one use
Just
case.
to
I can tell you
add,
more than 10 use cases. Yeah.
yeah, just to add what Abhishek said, Monica, probably you should really look at using sales CRM as a process where you can connect to your dealers, understand how treasury sales are happening and what kind of numbers they are doing. And these inbuilt engines, what you could see LeadSquared was publishing some of the dashboards, correct? That can able to enable you to keep constantly reminding, saying that, hey, last month you someone has procured, say, X number of quantity and how it can be, what's happening in next month, or you can do the entire trending pattern, correct? So that will also help you in terms of constant connect with your the entire ecosystem, whoever is been line to the next level of distribution.
Perfect. Thank
Right.
you so much,
So
Neville. Yes, back to you, Abhishek. If you have any closing lines, because we will end the session
uh,
soon.
yeah, yeah, no problem. I think again, I would say that the whole process, everything, situation, strategy, everything needs to be rethought, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever business you are, whatever you are doing, forget about COVID and everything. I'm sure we all will get through this in some days, and it's just a matter of few months or few weeks now. Think from the long term perspective, and such challenges will always keep coming in your business in form of force measure or calamity, or in form of any business disruption. You have to be ready with the best in class, with the best strategy, with the best platform, with the best intent, and the best kind of everything which is in your hand currently. And you have to give your best shot in terms of not only human to human interaction, but the kind right technology, and everything should be in place, right? And of course, as I told you, don't look at it as a very big burden or a very the first step is always harder, but when you start embracing the technology, you will start playing with it. I'm sure I've seen a lot of my customers who are very hesitant in the beginning, But the moment they started understanding the automation and technology, they have built so many automations that now everything is automated with minimum human efforts, and they are getting a good ROI out of their whole investment and everything, right? So that was from my side. I hope you take care, spend a very good time with your family, and I look forward to talk to you soon. And please take care.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Neville, any closing lines from your end?
So I would say one thing: customer is unique, and his business is unique for himself, not himself. It cannot be the same for everyone, correct? So start respecting customer, his emotions, his business process. As long as you are closely connected with your customer and understand and able to take out his pains using the right solution and automation will certainly keep you moving. And automation is a tool which certainly help to keep the constant interaction with the customer, share a lot of information to see how you can keep constant engagement with him and enhance the experience. That's my view.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Neville.
you.
Thank you, Abhishek. I do see one last question here, which I will take up, and I'll also ask Jay to reach out to me separately. Jay, in fact, I'll do that rather. I'll reach out to you. So he's saying, how effective is it to mention testimonials in emails to customers? Are testimonials helpful in business enhancement? Should we share it on the first mail or later? In my experience, Jay, from a marketing experience, you certainly should share it in the very first email if possible, because that's how you can add trust, you can add validity to what you're saying, and you can show examples of how others are using it. So in our experience, for sure, you should definitely utilize as many testimonials as possible. Encourage your customers to share testimonials and write case studies. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around. I know we went a little over time, but I see a lot of you are still here, so thank you so much. Quick reminder for those interested in our next session. So we have a session for the real estate industry next week. Do join us for that. We have a roundtable of sorts coming up, online roundtable for the lending sector. That is next week as well. So I hope to see some of you back again next week and for our future webinars. Thank you so much for sticking around. We will end the session now. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.